In this video, I have one promise to you, and that is by the end of the video, you're going to be able to track all the money you make and all the money you spend and have it all neatly in one place. I can prove this because I've been tracking my personal income for over the past year and have many videos going through exactly how much money I make. Here's a video of my net worth as a college student. Here's more videos about me going over how much money I make. This is how much money I made in January, and this is how much money I made in February. Now, as always, that's my promise, and if I do not deliver on this promise by the end of the video, you can feel free to block me on every single platform. There's no reason for you to follow me if I don't deliver on the promises that I make for you guys, and my word means a lot. So if I don't, please block me. That's how sure I am that you're going to get what you need out of this video. So firstly, this is the template, and it goes through all the money I make every single month and pretty much automatically tracks it for me once I plug in my numbers at the end of each month. And not only do I get this, but I also get a monthly breakdown of all of the different expenses that I had and all of the revenue put into one spot compared to my target. Now, this is the one that I use for my personal channels. The one I use for my businesses, which include all of my faceless channels, is a little different. And you can see what that looks like here, but it allows me to pretty much track views and track how much each of the accounts that I own are actually making. Now, this is the one that I've made into a very neat template, and I'm going to show you guys how everything works. So it basically tracks two things: expenses and revenue. Expenses are tracked through a sheet like this called the budget sheet. And for this, all I do is I put in who I am filling out the sheet and the fact that it's part of a business expense. Then I choose the business expense type, which most of the time is the cost of editing videos. And then lastly, I write what it is, how much money it was. So this would be $5,000. And then I upload a receipt so I have that for when I do my taxes. Now, all of this goes into this form right here, which is really messy and has a lot of stuff to it and you don't need to worry about. All you need to know is that all of the stuff from this form automatically gets added to the monthly expenses on the sheet right here. So all of the expenses that were made in January will be added to January 25 and will show up right here. So this way, every time you pay for something as part of your business, that expense will automatically be tracked at the end of every month and give you a report just like this. Now you're probably thinking, Bennett, what about the revenue that I make? And that's also done pretty easily. All you have to do is on the sheet, go to each of the social media channels that you own or each of the channels of your business and fill it out. So you can see we have one sheet for the account called Stories Told, and then I fill that out for the month of February for all the different revenue sources. So in the month of February, for example, we had $1.8 thousand in YouTube ad revenue, $2.3 thousand in music royalty revenue, and then $1,900 in another music deal that we did through this channel. Now, that's what you would type in for one channel, and when you go to the next channel, you also type in whatever the stats are for that. So for this channel, we made $1,800 with YouTube ad revenue and then $322 with the music royalty. So I encourage you to put in all your different streams of revenue in here and follow along in the description with the template that I'm about to show you guys. So essentially, if you guys go to the first link in the description, you'll get a link to the earnings template. And firstly, I'm going to show you how to go through all your earnings. So the first thing you'll notice is this is filled out with some examples. We're going to go through and delete some of the data to make things really easy. But the first thing you need to do is you need to change this thing. So see how this says at account 1? You need to change this to whatever the account is that you actually want to track. So let's say I wanted to track the account Stories Told. I would just type that in, Stories Told, enter. And now when you put in the monthly revenue, it should be pretty easy. So this starts in February. Obviously, we're already in March. So let's delete this. So let's just say it was the month of February and I'm going through how much I made this month. So all we would do is we would type in, I made $100, let's say in the TikTok Creativity Fund, $10 from Facebook, let's say $1,000 from Snapchat, and then let's say $10,000 in YouTube ad revenue. All of this would automatically get summed up right here into total revenue. And then we also have another thing called cumulative revenue. So cumulative revenue will add in all the future months to it. So if I make an extra $100 in March, this actually won't show yet because this formula is made to only show once that month actually hits. But let's say that it was March and this month was showing. Now you see under cumulative revenue, it's actually adding this revenue with this revenue and then showing it here. So once you type in all the sources of revenue, how much that makes, it automatically does everything for you. And then you also can type in all the views that you got on all your different social media platforms. So right here, it's already typed in. Let's say we got 50,000 views on TikTok, 10,000 on Instagram, 100,000 on YouTube. It would automatically calculate the total views for us and the cumulative views. And this will be important for when we visualize the actual data. Okay, so let's say we did that with account number 1, and then we also made some money from account number 2. So the stats might look something like this, and then the views might look something like this. Again, this is already filled out. So then we can look at how much money we actually made in February by clicking on February 25. You can see $430 in revenue, no expenses yet, obviously, since I didn't actually log any expenses. I'll show you that in a second. And then it also has our views by account. So account 1 is this many views, and account 2 is this many views, and then also shows revenue by account. It also splits it up by platform, so this is super helpful. Next, you'll notice we have a sheet called all time. So this sheet right here, again, super helpful sheet. It actually tracks all of the revenue we've made lifetime, all of the profit lifetime, and all of the expenses lifetime. And as we have more expenses, it'll actually populate over time, so we can see over each month how much money we actually made, and then the cumulative revenue as well. But let's say February already finishes, and now we want to log the month of March. All we have to do is make a duplicate of this one called Feb 25. Just rename this to March 25 or MAR 25, and then see how the month right here, I know that might be a little hard to see, but the month right there says 2. We're going to change that to month number 3 and keep the year 2025, and then it will do all the data from the month of March instead of the month of February. Obviously, we want the February data, so I'm going to move that back to 2, and then we have all of the data from all of our February stuff. So boom, there's that, and I'm just going to delete this tab for now, but that's basically how you would do all the following months. And now you might be saying, Bennett, what about expenses? There's nowhere on this sheet to fill out expenses. Well, it's because expenses are filled out in a different place. So I fill out my expenses with something called the budgeting form. And this just makes it easier to fill stuff out. So there will be a template to this form in the description down below as well. But the form will look something like this. It'll say, who are you? So you can, when you log your expenses, write who you are. Expense item group. So it'll be part of your business. You go next. Choose business expense type. That will be one of these, and you can choose which one it is. You can also customize these. But for me, a lot of the time, the expense is video edits. So I just select that. And then this is the most crucial stage where you type what it is. So let's say it's video edits for recent long form video. Let's say it was $25, and then I can upload the receipt. And the receipt is also important because you need that for when you do your taxes. If you're doing everything right and you're actually doing your taxes, you will need a receipt. So I published the form right here. You should be able to see this in the description, but the complete template to this form will be in the description. What you really need to do though before is you need to go to settings and make sure this form is actually linked to the spreadsheet. So what you need to do is you need to click on responses, and then you need to click on link to sheets, select existing spreadsheet, which you should have already gone to this template and made a copy of it. You go file, make a copy, and then actually have your own version of the spreadsheet, and then click select. And then you'll see whatever your spreadsheet was named. Mine's called earnings template. I'm just going to click this one and click insert. And now this will actually link to my earnings template spreadsheet. The only thing you need to do from here is rename this to form. Okay. And then you're pretty much done. Now, let me show you what it looks like when you actually fill this out. So I'll do it with a complete example. So let's say I'm person 1, choosing an expense from business LLC. I am logging a video editing expense, and I'm calling it long form video. Let's say it cost me $200, and the receipt is, I don't know, some random file. I'll just upload this into there for now as a template, and then I just click submit. Now take a look at this. It automatically filled with all of the information, and if we go to February 2025, it's actually not there because I filled this out in the month of March. And now that I'm looking at it, this actually isn't filling out for March right now, so I'll make sure to get that fixed before this video is uploaded. But by the time this is uploaded, this will work so that when you fill out an expense, it just automatically goes into your thing. And I can already show you guys that this works. So if we go to my budgeting sheet, I already have a bunch of expenses for March right here. You can see here. And if I go to March, it already has the expenses there. So yeah, this already should be working. It just seems to not fully be working exactly correctly, but I'll have this working before you guys actually see the link in the description. So yeah, the expenses will auto calculate, and so will the revenue once you plug it in every month. And I really recommend you actually do this on your phone. So I have on my phone right here 2 apps. They're not actually apps. It's just a shortcut with a link to the spreadsheet, where when I click on the app, it just automatically opens a spreadsheet where I type in the business expense and what it was. So I highly recommend you do that on your phone because it lowers the friction of actually doing that. And yeah, that's basically how you would make a spreadsheet like this. I was really lucky. The person who made this spreadsheet template for me is actually a professional data scientist. He's quite smart, really good at coding, really talented. And I'm going to link him on my Discord. He's totally down to give you guys the template for free. If there's any issues with it, I'm sure he'll attend to it and fix it. But really, I know a lot of you will probably want a customized version of this. And so if you want a customized version, he'll also be able to make that for you. Obviously, that won't be free because you're going to want very specific things and he'll have to actually spend his time on this. But I'm keeping the promise of this channel by making anything that has no marginal cost to me, like giving out a template. I'm just making that free for you guys to actually help you guys start tracking your revenue correctly and improving your business and understanding where you're at. So I hope this video helped. I'm actually going to hit him up right now and tell him he needs to fix this. But yeah, the links to everything should be in the description. And I hope this did deliver on this promise, because I know a lot of you guys were putting in the comments, like, how do I track my revenue like you do in your videos? This is going to show you guys exactly how to track your revenue. And hopefully this will also help you guys start to be transparent about how much money you make. So this is the way that I'm doing this right now. I'm actually working on a better solution to this, but more info on that coming soon. But right now, this spreadsheet is like the way that I track all my revenue. And you guys will even be able to see in the link of the description to this video, you can see my personal earnings right here. This is my personal income. You see we have Anonymous Bat on the spreadsheet right now, literally looking at my revenue right now. He's looking at how much money I'm making. This is my publicized spreadsheet of how much money I make. So yeah, I hope this video delivered on the promise that it gave, and I hope this video helps you with whatever business you're working on. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video, and peace.